welcome back to Movie Review Mom. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me as I try to give you a heads up on movies and help you choose the best films for you and your family. So today, the movie that I'm reviewing is Real Redemption, The Rise of Christian Cinema. This movie is rated PG. It's an hour and 27 minutes. And the Movie Review Mom grade I'm giving it is an A. I thought it was really good. And by the way, since movies are not quite open in theaters yet everywhere, you can actually watch this movie at faithlifetv.com/real-redemption. You can also watch it on Roku and get a free trial on Roku. So there's your heads up. If you are a cinephile and love film, and maybe you happen to be Christian, I think you're really going to enjoy this movie. First, let me give you a quick nutshell. I'll point out some tips for parents, some things I liked and didn't like, as well as themes worth talking about. So first, in a quick nutshell, written and directed by Tyler Smith, this documentary offers a terrific look at Christianity in film over the years. Tyler Smith, who directed it, wrote it, is also the narrator. So you get to really know Tyler Smith. As a Christian film critic myself, I thought it was done really well, and I thought it was really fascinating. I've often been frustrated with how Hollywood seems to represent Christians as mindless drones or as the brunt of jokes in films. It's been so frustrating for me. And moviegoers have often rolled their eyes at Christian films made by Christians, dismissing them as blatant propaganda or an attempt at a sermon with cheesy dialogue and lazy filmmaking. And this movie actually looks at both aspects of Christianity, not only how Christianity is represented in the film, but also a little bit into how Christians are beginning to make their own films, as well as demand more films that meet their needs, which I found to be really interesting. Tyler Smith just does a really great job at looking at those issues from a very unbiased perspective, I thought. And he looks at society and religion and how they've influenced each other over the years. It also takes a really interesting look and asks whether movies reflect society's values or whether movies change society's values. A really great question, and one that's been debated for many, many years. There are some subtitles that require reading. So if you're watching this with really little kids, you'll have to read the subtitles for them. But generally, most kids will be pretty bored because it's a documentary mostly. Movie lovers will think it's really interesting just to learn about the history of film. What I love is there's no profanity or inappropriate content for children. So it really is family-friendly viewing if you can get people of all ages to sit down and watch this together. Now, obviously, the themes are religion versus Hollywood, the history of film, and perception and prejudice, which I found to be interesting also. Now, the things that I liked about the film were, first of all, I liked the title. I thought that that was really good. Of course, it has to do with the spelling of the word real, as in the film real, real redemption. And then redemption, of course, is something that all Christians are hoping for all of us. So I just thought that that was a great title. The film shows tons of video clips from movies, which I always love, and gives you a little bit of background and also uses them to point out comparisons and things like that. So again, I thought it was a great collection. You're going to learn a lot about the history of film. I love educational videos. And as I said before, I think that the information is presented in a very unbiased manner. There's no hidden agenda to preach at you. It's simply a documentary that states the facts and shows what was happening in film and in society over decades and how Christianity has been represented in film. There's no Bible pushing agenda. So if you're not Christian, then you can just look at it for educational historical value. one thing that I thought was interesting was an insight that Christian audiences want more films that are family friendly, that they can watch, that are clean. But what was interesting was that it was pointed out that the Christian audiences want films that support their own values rather than challenge their values and make them feel uncomfortable, which is interesting. And I think many films lately have come out and challenged what would be the traditional Christian viewpoint on things. And I think that's really good to always think outside the box. And as you ask questions about your own faith, you can develop a greater, deeper level of the faith that you possess as you come up with those answers to questions. There's a little bit of humor, so it was enjoyable. Now, there were just a couple of things that I didn't like, and one is that unlike a lot of documentaries, there aren't interviews with people, like normally. Instead, it's more like a video essay, similar to what you might find on an educational TV or even on a YouTube channel where you're just kind of learning the history of things and being shown stuff rather than, these in-depth, cutting-edge interviews with people who are in the know, that kind of thing. And then it's pretty straightforward. Some audiences are just saying it's dry, but documentaries can be a little bit that way sometimes. So know going in that it is a documentary. And that's it. So if you watch this movie, I hope that you enjoy it. And when you get a minute, visit my website, moviereviewmom.com, where I have more information about each of the movies, as well as fun contests from time to time and lots of interesting conversations. Be sure and also comment down below. I love hearing what you all have to say about movies that we watch together. Although not really together, but I see it, you see it, and then we comment about it together. You know what I mean? Anyway, thanks again for spending a few minutes with me. I hope that you're safe and happy and healthy. Be kind out there. See you next time. Bye for now.